In emphasizing the stupidity behind insecurities, which I'll go in depth about in another upcoming video, I'll share with you an anecdote about a girl to really emphasize the destructive nature of insecurities. Story time. I remember a couple of years ago there was a girl in school. Let's call her Madame Insecure. Madame Insecure was like a walking paradox. She was incredibly likable, could read the room well, was all round a great girl. However, the hamasha, the fatal flaw of Madame Insecure would come to light after you would engage in any sort of girl talk or girl activities, such as talking about boys to any extent, or merely even taking photos together. There had been previous instances where insecurities would present themselves here and there, from time to time, but they were solely to do with her. And she alone had to inquire enough about herself and experience personal development, and it hadn't really bothered me because I understood that this common flaw in mindset was something that she had to amend herself by repairing her perception about herself. And with her being so well-mannered, I assumed that she's too well-mannered, too well-behaved to let her insecurities, grand as they were, affect other people. My, how wrong was I? As you may have guessed, I was wrong. But I was soon to come to find out with this experience that it will inevitably be incredibly soul-draining to befriend an incredibly, cripplingly insecure person. Story time. On this particular day, Madame Insecure, another friend, and I went to the mall after school. And in this particular store we were in, there happened to be a mirror nearby. Madame Insecure says, "Oh, let's take a picture. All of us, let's take a group photo." I say, "Sure." I pull out my phone, I take the picture, click. She doesn't like it. She says, "Oh, I don't like it. Can we take another one?" I say, "Sure, no problem." Click, click. Photo 2, photo 3. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. And then she begins. She says, "I don't like it. I just feel like you're just trying to make yourself look nice with the way you're taking the photo." I beg your pardon? I was so stalled. And, I like to preface by saying that we're not very close. Me and Madame Insecure, we weren't so close. We were just a classmate sort of closeness, right? And here she is saying, "I don't like the picture you've taken because I feel like the filter's only on you. So you're just trying to make yourself look nice. Are you doing it deliberately?" I'm startled, to say the least. But I myself have manners. So I say, "You know what, keeping in mind our lack of closeness and, I'm well-mannered myself, let me be hospitable." So I say, "Oh, sure, the filter can be on you too. The filter's on us both now." No need for any further complaints, one would think. No, not Madame Insecure. She's got a lot more coming. Click, click. Photo I've lost count now. Madame Insecure says, "I just feel like, you see, I feel like with the way you're taking it, you're, again, just trying to make yourself look nice. You're the only one that looks good. The filter's on us both. I don't see why that would be the case. So are you like just trying to angle it in a way that's only making yourself look nice?" You can begin to understand that my irritation is starting to kick in now. Irritation's starting to take a hold of me, something strong. It's taking a hold of me, and it's not letting me go. Because I'm trying to give Shorty the benefit of the doubt. So I say, do you wanna take the phone? Why don't you take the phone? It's my phone, right? But why don't you take it? You angle it the way you want. Madame Insecure says, "Oh yeah, I need to take the camera. Because you're just, I don't know, you're like too petite or something. Like your angle, like you're not gonna get the angles. Your arms, like you're not gonna get the angles." I say, "Slow down now, sister. But you can take the phone." You can imagine with the behavior, the atmosphere, the energy, the fact that Madame Insecure, despite there being 3 of us all together, Madame Insecure seems to be the only one with complaints. Only one. And all her complaints solely directed at yours truly. So any benefit that she could get from any doubt that I might have is one alone, to say the least. The benefit of any doubt I could give her has started to run out of stock. Nonetheless, I'm thick-skinned, I don't escalate the situation, but I'm starting to get a little self-conscious. I was young, I was starting to get a little self-conscious because there's 3 of us, yet she seems to be the only one complaining. Every photo, she's complaining, and every single complaint is directed at me. So I'm feeling a little little sheepish. And I remember this sheepishness, so this self-consciousness, was reflecting in my poses. I went from a head tilt with peace sign and pouty lips, I was young, you know, down with the peace sign, just pouty lips and a head tilt. So I'm like, down even more with the next complaint, to just a head tilt. Timidity written all over the face. And then poker face, no pose, no expression, passport picture. Yeah, just dead straight face, no smiling please. I looked like I was in the lineup for the movie The Usual Suspects. You know that lineup in The Usual Suspects? And not the one where they're breaking character and they keep laughing all the time, having a great old time, annoying the director. Cue the scene.
Number 3, step forward.
Not like that. No. She wouldn't let it be fun because I'm getting really uncomfortable now. And while she's taking enough photos to fill up my storage, I'm thinking about my failure to appease her and how I've kindly misjudged her too much in her favor. But on the contrary, I was also thinking about, it's understandable. One could fathom why Madame Insecure was behaving so pathetically. You see, Madame Insecure's insecurities weren't completely unfounded. My meaning there is, you could understand why she was so insecure. Madame Insecure was always compared to, ironically enough, her twin sister, who was, objectively, conventionally, far more attractive. How cinematic, right? And not only had she said she'd been compared her whole life to her twin sister by her relatives, but I also knew firsthand that the boys in our school would also compare her and would state their disbelief in the fact that they couldn't see how they could be sisters, let alone twins. You know, it's boys in school that are going to be too friendly or too gentle when they're stating that. All the more, she wouldn't really get much male attention, if at all any, all the while being a romantic daydreaming schoolgirl. However, this girl was not Quasimodo in the least. Despite her reasoning for her insecurities, they were still too extreme because now they are affecting other people. Frankly speaking, I'm attractive. And sure enough, was that. So whether you want to say that vicariously through me she was seeing her sister who had received all the attention that she wanted and all that psychological jazz, nonetheless, her behavior was unacceptable. While she's clicking away, I'm ashamed to say, but she'll live to learn. But I thought to myself, oh, it was so embarrassing. But I thought to myself, she can angle it however she wants. She's complaining about my phone, how the photo's not coming out right, and it must be my phone's fault. But my phone's the newest phone out, so she's saying that. She keeps complaining. All her complaints are directed at me. The other girl's not complaining at all. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm not doing any poses. I moved out the way. I said she can take it however she wants. I'm doing everything I can to appease her. And she's still, like, picking on me. How can I make myself uglier? The minute I thought that, I mean with Godspeed, my love, the second I thought that, I was repulsed. Really repulsed. I started speaking to myself. For someone so stern and confident and, you know, got a little pride to me, for someone like me to have that despicable thought, I thought to myself, it's beyond internal monologue now. I'm gonna have to scold you aloud. And I started mumbling to myself, to the point the other friend was saying, are you okay? Nostalgia. To the point the other friend said, are you alright? Why are you mumbling to yourself? And I said, I can't even focus about that right now because I'm speaking to myself and I'm saying, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I must be in a nightmare right now. You said, you of all people said, how do I make myself look uglier? You don't need to try to make yourself look ugly, you're already ugly. For having that thought, the ugliness in the mind has already started. So therefore you're completely ugly. Are you insane? Why? Because she feels less? You're gonna make her feel more by making yourself less. You say, I'm gonna take the burden of feeling less. Don't worry, I'm gonna try and make myself feel uglier. So you feel more. Wow, you are pathetic. How weak are you? It got so severe, it literally got so severe that I started giving myself the silent treatment. I literally remember this like it was last week. I started giving myself the silent treatment. I remember myself saying to me, oh my gosh, ew. I need some time. Like, can you just like not talk to me? I don't want to speak to you right now. I'm gonna need some time. Literally, it's comedic when I say it now, but I'm like this, so it's just funny in retrospect, but in the moment, it was like a parent scolding a child. And that's how you have to be for yourself. It will really be to your benefit to speak to yourself and reprimand yourself very sternly. You catch yourself the moment it happens. The moment you say anything pathetic like that, you catch yourself in the moment and you say, whoa, hold on now. Did you just say that? Why would you have that thought, right? It would be to your benefit to speak to yourself as if there were two people. This is what I do. Speak to yourself as if there are two people in your head. There's one person. The one person is the one that you want to be. Your ideal. That's the one that reprimands you and says, whoa, 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 this is not something I would do. And you want to be like me, right? I'm your ideal. This isn't something I do. That's like the parental figure. That's one voice, the reprimanding voice. And the other one is you as you are, right? Which is not ideally who you want to be. Your ideal is who you want to be. So you're going to listen to them and act like the reprimanded child and say, oh, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Like, I know, I'm actually sorry. Yeah. That's how I speak to myself. That's what I was saying to myself. I remember saying, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Speaking to myself. It's so ridiculous to say this out loud now, but it sounds so natural in your head. It was really pathetic. I know, that was really embarrassing. I swear. You want silent treatment? Okay. You don't want to speak to me? Okay. I don't want to speak to myself either. It's fine. You want to give that sort of energy where you defend yourself or check someone else. You want to do that to yourself most of all. Because it's not about changing other people. No, it's all about you and improving yourself. You will bear more fruit that way than you will by changing other people. Remember, all your reprimands should be inwardly directed. Because it's not about changing others, it's about improving yourself. So you reprimand yourself, not others. The moral of this story time is not about how she's acting, it's about my response to how she's acted. It's all about how you respond to things. So one more time. You reprimand yourself by saying your ideal in your head will say to you, insert your name. You, John Smith. You, Jane Doe. You, John Smith. As strong as you are, go so far as to act so pathetically. You act in such a pathetic way that it's honestly disgusting. I'm being so serious with you, I'm not joking. I never want to see anything like that again. I never want to hear another thought so absurd like that ever again. You reprimand yourself like this. You use very harsh words like this. Like disgusting. It's pathetic. You know, you go straight for the heart. Aim the arrow straight for the heart. Because then, the sterner you reprimand yourself, the more likely you won't repeat that behavior. One more. You, Jane Doe. As strong as you are, go so far as to act as pathetically as you have. Why would you think that? Why would you honestly think that? No, that was rhetorical. I never want to hear another pathetic thought like that again. It's honestly disgusting the way you've acted. I never want to hear anything like that again. I never want to see any behavior like that ever again. I'm being dead serious. And then you, as you currently are, the reprimanded one, in response to yourself, you say, yeah, you're right. No, yeah. Actually, it kind of disgusted me too, the way I was acting. I swear I won't act like that again. It's all you, right? So you want to get closer to the ideal, so you're going to listen to what the ideal says. But all in all, they're all you. And eventually, you want to shut off who you currently are. And by harsh reprimanding, you will be the ideal. Therefore, the part of you that you don't like, you as you are, who's being reprimanded right now, will no longer exist. Because you will have evolved and transcended into the ideal. But it's all you. So it's not like, I'm going to be something in the future. You already are something. This also interlinks with the whole German poet Goethe says, before you can do something, you must first be something. I'd go so far as to say, it is better to have incredibly vain friends than incredibly insecure friends. Rather that end of the extreme spectrum. Because that particular friend, despite the way she's acted in the story time, her personality was so peak. The story time would lead you to think that she's just a pick-me girl, she's just so distasteful. She acted in such a way here, in the story time. It's ironic, because all in all, this girl had the best personality of anyone I've ever known. Really, male or female, best personality all around. Very likable, read the room well, very funny, humorous. Her personality was peak. Her insecurities, just as peak. All the good personality traits, all the incredible characteristics that she had that were peak were cancelled out. Each and every single one of them was cancelled out because of how peak her insecurities also were. Insecurities will cancel out any good characteristic you have. If you have a chart, right, and you list down all your good characteristics on this side and you list down all your negative characteristics on this side to ascertain whether a person is a good person, you're going to weigh out, okay, this person has this good characteristic tick. Oh wait, that's a good pro, but there's a con here as well. She's like this. She's insecure about this. Great, okay. Well, that one's gone now. They've cancelled each other out. It will cancel each other out like fractions. I'm telling you, it's not pretty. Insecurities will cancel out any good characteristics you have. The more good characteristics you have, yet the more insecurities you have, they too will be cancelled out. You will be left with nothing nothing likable, which means the negative will always outweigh the positive. It's like in maths, when you have a number plus and minus this, plus and minus, the one who wins is the negative, the minus, right? So your pros may be high, but if your cons are high as well, it's going to engulf and eliminate the positive, leading you to have nothing, which is a negative. So negative wins. You understand my analogy there? So if you allow yourself to identify with insecurities and make them your insecurities, and neglect the fact that God made you lacking nothing, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. You're made in the image of perfection. If you decide to ignore all of that, then know this. Those insecurities will keep growing and will engulf even the good aspects of your character, completely consuming you, inevitably making you a repellent for other people. There is a great danger in thinking you are the exception, that you are the exception to these people who can take on the burden of being their friend. My counter to that would be, why? Why should you need to tolerate this kind of behavior? That fatal flaw, that hamasha, is far too volatile for you to overlook. Let's try some visual imagery for you to really understand this. Insecure people are like dementors. You know, Harry Potter? They should be guarding Azkaban. They suck the life out of everything. Out of everything. Insecure people lack. They operate in an energy of lack. When you lack something, you're in need. When you're in need, you're going to have to get what you need from other people. They will suck you dry, like a mutated mosquito, who won't stop sucking the blood out of you until you're dead. Quite like a vampire, but exactly like a dementor, because these people will go after your soul, not your blood. So heed this story time as a warning, and until next time, be sure to remember to like and subscribe and comment.